Hello everyone, it is Satoru Iwata from Nintendo, and today I am proud to present a brand new Nintendo Direct where we will now be streaming brand new Nintendo U's directly to you. Hey guys, how's it going? It's Extreme0 here, and yes, I am going to be talking about the latest Nintendo Direct from Nintendo. Welcome to X Game News Reaction. Alright, so Nintendo just hosted a Direct about 2 days ago. January 14th to be exact, making it their first Nintendo Direct for the year. So that was definitely a very big deal. It's been the first Nintendo Direct since since November of 2014. So it's been about 2 months since we got our last Nintendo Direct, and they definitely did start off on a very good note. I'm sure we all remember that January 2013 Direct. That was pretty awesome, and they once again replicated the awesomeness here with this brand new Direct, which just aired, like I said, 2 days ago, back on Wednesday. And they had quite a lot of information to share. This was a very long Direct. I think it clocked into about 45-46 minutes, almost an hour, so just shy of an hour this thing hit. So yeah, it was pretty lengthy, and it had a few surprises, as Nintendo Directs usually does, and it also had some brand new info on things that we already knew about. But for the most part, you know, it was a pretty balanced Direct. There was nothing too crazy, and at the same time there was nothing too mellow. It was pretty balanced. It was really great all around. Now, one striking thing is definitely that it focused more on 3DS more than it focused on Wii U, and that was the biggest surprise to me and a whole lot of other people who, like we've seen before in the past. You know, when Nintendo hosts the Directs where it's talking about both Wii U and 3DS, Wii U tends to get the spotlight a little bit more, while the 3DS is usually mentioned, you know, very quickly before they get into the Wii U discussion, or it takes the tail end of the presentation, as we've seen a few times in the past. But this time it was the reverse. It was where they started off talking about the 3DS, and then right afterwards they started talking about Wii U, like, you know, in the middle of the presentation. And they quickly just switched back to 3DS like a couple minutes later, so it went 3DS, Wii U, then 3DS again. So they definitely wanted to talk about the 3DS, and with good reason, because they opened the presentation with a brand new Fire Emblem title. It hasn't been given a name yet, but it's a brand new title. It's going to be made by the same developers who handled Fire Emblem Awakening. So if you enjoyed that game, you can definitely look forward to this one. They also showed off Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, which is coming from Capcom. And they also talked about the amiibo compatibility for Super Smash Bros. It's going to be the first Nintendo 3DS game which is going to be able to use amiibo figures, which have sold really well, as it's been recently reported that they've sold really well for the Wii U. So this now boosts amiibo sales through the roof now that they're finally going to be fully compatible with the 3DS, starting off with one of its most popular games, Super Smash Bros. And that's going to be handled by a new system update for the game, which is going to be coming out next month. They also showed off Xenoblade Chronicles X. It's going to be a remake of the original Wii title. They've also shown off a brand new title called Puzzles and Dragons X. I'm saying X again. Puzzle and Dragon Z. So think Dragon Ball Z. And also Puzzle and Dragon Super Mario Brothers Edition. Now, from all the news sites I've heard report on this, apparently Puzzle and Dragon Z is supposed to be a very popular franchise. So now that they're having a Super Mario Brothers Edition, apparently this is going to be printing money out the wazoo. So let's hope it does just that. Like I said, it's been very popular in Japan, and it's going to be making its way stateside in the coming months. They also showed off Codename Steam, which is a brand new 3DS title that was revealed at last year's E3. And the interesting thing about this is it's going to be compatible with Amiibo, but not with custom Project Steam themed, Codename Steam themed Amiibo, but actually Fire Emblem Amiibo. Even though these two franchises really aren't anything alike, because the game is being handled by the same guys who developed Fire Emblem titles. I guess that's why they decided to include it. But obviously Nintendo really wants you to buy some Fire Emblem Amiibo now that they're making it compatible with a game that isn't even in the same franchise. They also showed off Etrian Mystery Dungeon for the 3DS. It's going to be a dungeon crawler and story of seasons from Marvelous USA and Xseed Games. It's going to be a farming and life simulation title. Ace Combat Assault Horizon Legacy from Bandai Namco. Now this definitely caught my eye. It really made me want to play a 3DS because I love planes. I definitely love planes. Since I was a kid, I used to play a lot of flight simulators and arcade flying games like this, Ace Combat Assault. So yeah, this definitely caught my eye just because it has planes in it. I would buy a 3DS just for that game. They also revealed a brand new title called Pokemon Shuffle as well. It's going to be a free-to-play game actually, with microtransactions. Oh, that's evil words. Fossil Fighters Frontier. Me and my little bro, this one really caught our eye. Once again, a game that I definitely buy a 3DS for. It's pretty cool where you can design your own vehicle, you know, go hunting for dinosaur fossils and bring them to life and fight against other gigantic dinosaurs. So that's definitely pretty cool. Now let's talk about the Wii U. Here's the information that they released on the Wii U. They said they finally talked about Splatoon. Oh my goodness, we haven't heard much from Nintendo about Splatoon since its reveal back at the last E3. Now this game definitely caught my eye from since day one that it was revealed. Or should I say day 3, because it was revealed on the last day of E3. Yeah, I definitely love the whole concept behind Splatoon, and seeing more gameplay, it's definitely sold me big time. They showed off the Central Plaza, which is very similar to the theme park in Nintendo Land. Remember, when you open the game, it's all 12 activities are centered around like this big floating hub world where you have Mii's walking all over the place. You can collect items and stuff like that to populate the area. And so that concept has been ripped directly from Nintendo Land and brought here in Splatoon, and now it's been turned to like this sprawling Japanese, like Tokyo-esque city, and it's going to let players customize their weapons and outfits with in-game currency. So this is going to be the big hub, and it's also going to allow you to connect online. And this game just looks really fun. All right, I know the shooter genre has definitely been very bloated lately, and everyone's trying to one-up each other, but Nintendo, not only have they went ahead and made their own shooter, but now they've gone ahead and they've made it so much different from everyone else. And you know, they've just gone ahead and give it the Nintendo touch. So Splatoon, brand new information, and we now know when it's coming out. It's coming out in May. Alright, so just about a few months from now, Splatoon will be in our midst. I'm definitely buying that game this year. They also released some information on the Hyrule Warriors DLC. Yes, more DLC. It seems like this game has to be the one game from Nintendo that is getting DLC like almost everyone else. You know, so much other games have DLC after DLC after DLC releasing. Hyrule Warriors is definitely one of those games. I think this is about their 4th or 5th DLC pack that they've had. Like, seriously, it's a lot. It's going to be released for $8, and it's going to have 2 new characters, Tingle and Young Link, inspired by Majora's Mask, and a brand new Adventures mode, and 3 additional costumes. It's going to be, like I said, released for $8 next month. They gave us some brand new information on Kirby and the Rainbow Curse, which was revealed back at E3 as well. It showed us the Amiibo support. It's going to be compatible with the Kirby, King DDD, and Meta Knight Amiibo figures, and they can only be used once a day apparently, which is pretty strange anyway. But once you tap an Amiibo figure to the gamepad, it's going to power up Kirby and give him like a temporary new ability for that day. Alright, so and that launches, we got the launch information for that. It's going to be launching on February 20th. Alright, so towards the end of February. Then we got some brand new information on Mario Party 10. Once again, Amiibo. Yeah, just like 3DS, Amiibo was talked about a lot in this direct. Mario Party 10 is going to be featuring a brand new series of amiibo called the Super Mario series. The amiibo that has already been released is from the Smash Brothers series. Now they have the brand new Super Mario series. It's going to have Mario, Luigi, Peach, and Toad, Yoshi, Bowser, Rosalina, Donkey Kong, and Wario. Those are all the figurines that are going to be compatible with Mario Party 10. And Mario, Luigi, Peach, and Toad and Bowser are all going to get brand new figurines for the Super Mario series of amiibo. So this is going to be pretty interesting to see. They all look pretty good. They're all in different poses from their Smash Brothers, and they all seem to have like a different texture and everything. So if you're a collector, this is definitely something to pick up. Even if you have all of those amiibo already, now you're going to get a different version of them. So more power to you. Mario Party 10 launches on March 20th. And they're even going to have a special bundle with a free Super Mario amiibo included. Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, which just launched a couple weeks ago actually, is going to be getting an update on March 20th that will add support for the Toad amiibo, allowing a Pixel Toad to appear on stage waiting to be found by the player. So if you've played the game already, this is definitely going to give you an opportunity to go ahead and look all over again, exploring those stages. I definitely still have to pick up that game this year. Xenoblade Chronicles X. Now this is a title that we have been hearing is literally like a drip feed of information. This has probably been like the third or fourth time that they've actually talked about this game. And this game was announced at the beginning. You remember that January 2013 Nintendo Direct I talked about earlier? That's when that game was first announced. And this is probably like the fourth, maybe fifth time that Nintendo has actually talked about it. Alright, so every time we get a brand new information on this game, it's always exciting because they literally have kept silent about this game for about 2 years now. Like I said, it was revealed back in January of 2013. So it's been 2 years, 2 long, hard years of waiting, and we still don't have a release date. You know, this direct was supposed to focus on titles that were launching during the springtime. So titles that were launching obviously before the summer, which I think starts in June. Alright, so this is probably like the only, almost just a few titles were not given a real release date. But once again, they gave us a new trailer with just some pretty snappy music, if I must say so myself. Showed us some more scenery from the game. Looked really good. It's called the Exploration trailer. And at the end, it just paints 2015. Ugh. They're teasing us, man. They're teasing us. At this point, I think it's probably going to just make its way to E3. They'll probably release it shortly afterwards. But at this point, I don't think it's coming before E3. But who knows? Nintendo's full of surprises. And speaking of surprises, this was the big surprise for Wii U owners with that Direct 2 days ago. And that was that Wii games, Nintendo Wii games, you know, for the original console, are now finally going digital. Yeah, this is one thing that Wii owners never got to experience because Nintendo wasn't really too big on the whole online connectivity with the Wii. They definitely weren't trying to build up their infrastructure very much. Nothing like Xbox Live or PlayStation Network. Nintendo Network is pretty decent, but back then when we only had the Wii Shop channel and Wii Connect 24, no man, that was as primitive as it gets. So now finally, after almost 10 years, Wii games can finally be downloaded legally. Wii games can finally be downloaded digitally and played without, you know, a disc. So they've started off with 3 titles. They released Super Mario Galaxy 2 shortly after the presentation. Punch-Out is going to be coming on January 22nd, followed by Metroid Prime Trilogy on January 29th. And I know Metroid Prime Trilogy is a game that is very rare to come by, and if you find a copy, it's going to cost you about $70–80. Now, these games have been introduced at the price of $10, but after their first week on sale, they're going to go to their normal price of $20, which is still pretty good. That's pretty much the same price they have for their Nintendo Select series that they used to have on Wii. You know, special titles that they decided to just release for $20. Alright, so this is pretty exciting because it gives people a chance to experience rare Wii games like Metroid Prime Trilogy that aren't really in circulation anymore and very hard to come by. And at the same time, it also allows you to probably get rid of all that clutter that you may have in your game case full of old Wii games that you don't really play anymore. So if you still might want to play a few of them, you can now go ahead, sell the retail version and use that money to buy the now digital version. Now the only downside to all of this is the fact that these are not upgraded at all. Now this has been one thing people have been asking for, is that can we please get some remastered versions of Wii games? We want to see Super Mario Galaxy HD. We want to see Sonic Colors HD. I've heard a lot of people say games that they would love to see remastered in HD. Just like what they did with Wind Waker, and they did a pretty good job with Wind Waker. Unfortunately, that's not the case here. These digital versions are just that. They're just digital versions. It's no different from how people have been downloading ISOs of Wii games for a couple of years now, running them off of an external hard drive. These are literally Wii games in their raw form, except they're now diskless. Alright, so you're still going to need your Wii peripherals for games like Super Mario Galaxy. The good thing out of all this is that any Wii game that was compatible with like the classic controller can now be played on the gamepad. That is one thing we've been asking for, is can we please play our Wii games with the gamepad? We can finally do that. So with these remastered versions, and only these remastered versions, so it's not going to become a native feature. It's going to be for games that were previously compatible with the classic controller. So no, you will not be able to play Super Mario Galaxy 2 with the gamepad. You can view it on the gamepad, but you can't play it with the gamepad. So lesson learned there. But I guess it wouldn't be the same anyway. It was built for the Wii Remote and Nunchuck, so I guess it would kind of be weird. But yeah, definitely the downside is that these are not enhanced versions, so the same way they've looked on your TV before, they're gonna look the same way now. I know I just upgraded to a 46-inch TV from, I think my old TV was about a 24, 25-inch. I know it was really tiny, under 30 inches. And Wii games looked pretty okay there, even on both the original Wii running at 480p and on the Wii U, via Wii mode. They looked pretty decent because the TV was very small. But now that I've upgraded to a 46-inch, even though it's a 1080p TV and my 24-inch was 720p, they look a hell of a lot worse on this 1080p 46-inch because it's so much bigger and it's trying to upscale this little measly 480p image to 1080p. It just does not work. Alright, so I've already played a few Wii games on this new TV and they look terrible. I'm not gonna lie, even the better ones like Skyward Sword look really fuzzy. So it's sad that Nintendo didn't take the chance to, even if they just went ahead and added some anti-aliasing, to get rid of all those jaggies, that would have been good. But they didn't. A lot of people have complained about this because, like, the Dolphin emulator allows you to practically turn Wii games into HD games, and a lot of Wii games look really good being rendered in full HD. Like Super Mario Galaxy 2, you slap some anti-aliasing on that, you upscale the native resolution to 1080p, and that looks just as good as a regular Xbox 360 or PS3 game. Unfortunately, that's an emulator, alright? So that emulator is built to have all those extra features. The Wii U still carries Wii components, alright? That's why it's able to switch into Wii mode. Though that's not an emulator when you play a Wii game on the Wii U. That's it running off of actual components that are inside the console. Even when I put in a Wii disc, the same clicking noise that I hear, that I used to hear playing on my original Wii, I hear it on the Wii U because it literally has turned itself into a Wii. It's practically two consoles in one. Not the first time they've done this. It was the same thing with the Wii and the Gamecube. The Wii practically had another Gamecube sitting inside of it, as did the DS having another, practically like a miniature Game Boy Advance sitting inside of it. It has all those components that are carried over to the new system from the old system. That's why this backwards compatibility thing, it's not emulation, it's actually practically you're playing the game on the same system, except this is the new system versus the old system. So with these digital versions, you're getting the very same experience, tit for tat. Nothing has been changed except for gamepad compatibility, but only with games that support the circle pad. Oh my goodness, I'm thinking of 3DS now. We're gonna get into that in a few minutes, actually. Only games that were compatible with the Classic Controller Pro can be played with the gamepad, so that's basically the only thing that has changed with these digital versions. But For those of you who may have missed out on a few Wii titles and can't really get your hands on them because they're so expensive, now's the time. So let's hope that Nintendo releases a lot of good games. None of that shovelware crap that was mostly that on Wii that infested the Wii library, really. Hopefully it's just going to be quality titles from third and first party offerings, alright? Alright, well, let's get into the heat of it. The new 3DS was revealed for America and Europe in yesterday's Direct, alright? So, now Japan has already been introduced to the new 3DS. They've been using it for a couple months now, so that's all news to them. But it's definitely new news to us for all us Westerners. Yep. So this new 3DS, just in case you didn't know, I actually did a video on it a couple months ago. But this new 3DS, I'm just going to quickly recap of what it is. It's supposed to be basically the original 3DS, except now it's on steroids. I kid you not, that's exactly what it is. This new 3DS is going to be faster than the original 3DS. It's supposed to have a better CPU. We do not know what kind of CPU because Nintendo refuses to release information about their systems. I don't know why they do that, but it doesn't really matter. But it's faster than the original 3DS. It's going to load games faster. It's going to load apps faster. It's going to boot up quicker. Everything is faster. Even download times have been upgraded with this brand new 3DS. It's going to include a brand new face tracking feature, which will now allow you to use 3D from every angle. That was the one big complaint with the 3DS, was that if you moved the units just a little bit to the left or a little bit to the right or up or down, you would lose that 3D effect and become really fuzzy. So you literally have to keep your head locked in the middle of the device and just go all around like an idiot, you know, with certain games. Looking like an idiot holding this thing so close to your face, and you have to follow its every movement. You cannot move your head, you have to keep it locked in one position. Now they've eliminated that with this brand new face tracking, so if you move it to the left a bit, if you move it to the right a bit, no problems, it's going to automatically correct the screen, so you'll literally be able to just about view it from every head-on angle, so that's going to be more comfortable for those of us who use the 3D feature a lot. It's going to be compatible with all previous 3DS games, so every game that has come to the 3DS is going to be able to play those, no problem. But here's the catch, and like I talked about in my old video, there are going to be games that are going to be released exclusively for this new system. Right? So there are certain games like Xenoblade Chronicles 3D that I talked about a little earlier. It's not going to be compatible with the original 3DS, but it is going to be only compatible with this brand new 3DS because of its extra processing power. So if you have an old 3DS, chances are a few games from now, they're going to be a few months from now, we're probably going to start seeing more games that will not be able to run in the original 3DS or 3DS XL. So that is a bummer, but let's hope Nintendo doesn't go too crazy with this, and let's hope third parties don't go too crazy with this, because the majority of 3DS owners are obviously owners of the original 3DS, 3DS XL, and 2DS. And they're not going to be wanting to shell $200 more down to get a brand new 3DS just to have access to these handful of games. So let's hope they don't get too crazy with it. Maybe it might come once in a blue moon. Like if you really want the remastered version of Xenoblade Chronicles, you're gonna have to buy a new 3DS for it. Hopefully it's just gonna be like that. It'll just be special games here and there. So let's see what happens with that. But a brand new feature is the C-Stick. Now, I refuse to call this thing a stick, really just a little rubber nub, but it's supposed to function the same way that the Circle Pad Pro did. Remember when I made that little mistake when I was trying to say classic controller? Yeah, this brand new C-Stick, it's going to function just like the classic, the Circle Pad Pro. Enough of the dang C's, Nintendo. It's going to function just like the Circle Pad Pro, so any game that was compatible with that peripheral is now going to be compatible on the new 3DS, so like Hit Icarus Uprising, for example, or Resident Evil Revelations. And so that's really good. So I think that Nintendo should have definitely included this feature from the get-go instead of having you buy a second peripheral, which looks pretty awkward, by the way. I never really felt it, but it does look awkward just looking at it in pictures and videos. But finally they included it, they listened, and it's supposed to feature a better battery life, and to even further that, it's going to now have adaptive brightness. Now, a lot of things have adaptive brightness. Smartphones, tablets, and even TVs have adaptive brightness. They basically is just changing the brightness in real time as it senses the light in the surrounding area. So I use it on my tablet extensively. No, all the time, really. So I never have to worry about battery life. It takes me throughout the entire day. So this is now going to have not only a bigger battery, but now a more optimized battery. So that should be pretty good for those of you who use your 3DS constantly. Alright, but this Nintendo Direct was pretty interesting. I really liked it. All in all, it was really great. The focus on 3DS was pretty weird compared to Wii U, but at the end of the day, it was still really great to have seen Nintendo open up on such a great note, and I hope to see them continue to improve for the rest of the year. So let's see what more surprises they have for us. For the most part, they're definitely really good. Has me excited for the rest of the year. Nintendo, do us good. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you later.